What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. No, Ro, I didn't fall asleep. I had to just get organized to be able to come on and talk to y'all about this subject. This subject is not it's not a lightweight subject, so I didn't want to do too much freestyling. But I'm here, man. I appreciate y'all. It looks like I'm back to my regular scheduled time of being on here with y'all super late. But we're gonna get it in. I know some of y'all are late night just like me. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. As you come in, hit that like button for your big brother. And we're gonna get right into it, man. We're gonna get right into it. We wanna, as y'all see by the title, we wanna pose that question. And I'm posing the question in from my perspective, I'm posing the question from a rhetorical angle to ask the question, are global elitist agendas actually real? Because there are some people who, and I'll wait to go into it. I'll wait till a few more of y'all come in. But that is the question. That's the topic that we're dealing with tonight. Are global elitist agendas actually real? And it's kind of strange that we have to even ask that question in the year 2021 after years and years and literally centuries of history that's documented, where you can prove that the global elitist agendas are actually real. So again, as y'all come in, hit the like button and we'll go into it. We will discuss every aspect of it. We will discuss different organizations that have been complicit in the pushing of certain agendas, and we will more importantly discuss who these agendas are aimed at and why these agendas are formulated to be targeting certain groups, and why what is the mindset behind it in the first place. If I can get um, through this pretty quick, because I know it's late. If I can get through it and get it all out in a timely fashion, then I will be able to open the floor up if y'all have any quick questions. I got a big day tomorrow, so I don't plan to be on here a long time, but I want to make sure that we do stick to the topic. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in, man. Hit the like button as y'all come in. Again, I apologize for jumping on this late. I usually come on late, but not this late. So I apologize, but I also, appreciate y'all for hanging in there and being up with me. Um, the reason why this question came into my mind is simply because when you look around the world and you see all the different things that are being imposed on and carried out against um, the disenfranchised, the oppressed, the poor, the black, the brown, those individuals who have never seemed to get a fair shake in this country, and more things are being implemented to further and further push people down, then at some point after a certain amount of time, you have to ask yourself, is this intentional? And how much of this is intentional? And why is it happening? I'll give a few examples for people who might say, well, man, I'm tired of all y'all conspiracy theorists, because that's what you did a lot. It's like, it's kind of like when a person doesn't agree with something that you like or something that you present to them. And if you tell them that you don't agree with it or you see it from a different angle, then they will accuse you of being a hater. It's the same thing in this conversation when somebody presents um, views that are alternate to what the norm or what has been presented on us to be the norm or what we should accept. And instead of being accused of being a hater, you are accused of being a conspiracy theorist. Oh man, you just into that old crazy conspiracy stuff, man. Yeah, come on, man. There you go. They accuse you of being a conspiracy theorist, meaning that you are proposing a theory. You are proposing an idea that's not necessarily based on facts and not necessarily based on actual evidence that this concept you're presenting to them actually is real or exists. That's what a conspiracy theorist is labeled as. But when you have information and facts to back it up, sometimes that don't matter either, because sometimes when you got facts and information to back it up, they still don't believe it. They still will ride with the thought of you being a conspiracy wacko or a nut or something along those lines. But only a fool would deny plain proof when it's presented before them. So I just go down the line throughout history, man. If we can go back as recent as 20 years ago, September marked the 20th anniversary of 9/11. It marked the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and the 20 years went by real fast. And since 9/11 took place, if you remember, if any of y'all, most of us are old enough to remember when all that went down. We're old enough to remember where we were when all that happened. We can remember the initial news stories that were being presented when 9/11 took place. And the first initial news story was, whoa, terrorists have attacked the World Trade Center. Middle Eastern terrorists have attacked the World Trade Center. They have flown airplanes into the World Trade Center, and these airplanes that struck the World Trade Center, which is a tower that's 100 stories high, this airplane strikes the World Trade Center and causes it to collapse in a controlled demolition type of fashion, right? In the emotion and in the shock of the moment, people took the media on their word, took the government on their word to say, wow, America's been attacked by these terrorists, and this is horrible, this is terrible, we got to get them, and all this different stuff, right? But as time started to pass on, there were people who were scientists, there were people who were investigators, there were people who were on the ground floor, and there were just people in general who used their common sense to kind of start putting the pieces together in their mind and say, well, wait a minute, this don't make sense. It doesn't make sense for a building to be struck by an airplane, and yet that building goes down in a controlled demolition fashion. So that's just on the base of it. So if you remember, Saddam Hussein, who was the president of Iraq at the time, he was targeted as being one of the people complicit in this whole. Well, no, he was scapegoated, and Iraq was attacked, and Saddam was overthrown and killed, and they tied him into the whole 9/11 thing when he had nothing to do with 9/11. Initially, it was Afghanistan and Osama bin Laden and all these different people that we've grown to know over the years, but somehow Saddam Hussein got lumped into the situation, right? Just follow me. So people started using that common sense again and saying, well, wait a minute. If this was perpetrated by Afghanistan, why is America attacking Iraq? America had a long history with Saddam Hussein. You can go back to the first Gulf War in the early 90s. This was a continuation to complete a mission that they did not get a chance to complete. And the resources that existed in Iraq were very valuable to the United States, and they wanted to get a handle on those resources. And this was a way of creating a scenario that would justify to the American people why we are going to attack Iraq, even though Iraq was like, we don't have anything to do with it. But the people backed it. The ignorant backed it, right? So fast forward, more time starts to pass. It's like, well, wait a minute. When we get into the intricate details of what was going on inside of the World Trade Center, when we get into the intricate details of how the owner of the World Trade Center took out an insurance policy on the World Trade Center prior to the attack, when you get accounts from people who were inside of the World Trade Center who say, well, wait a minute, we got out. The people who got out, they say, we were hearing explosions going off inside the World Trade Center. When those who investigated the material that was remaining from the World Trade Center discovered that there was thermite in the World Trade Center, which is an explosive, a highly potent explosive. They found traces of thermite in the World Trade Center. People started to say, wait a minute, this is not adding up. This is not lining up with what is being reported through the media, which points to an agenda, hidden agenda, a reason why this attack took place, and a reason why many people thought then and why many people still think now that 9/11 was a what? An inside job. What was the agenda? Again, the agenda was to create a circumstance that you could blame on Iraq, throw Afghanistan in there somewhere, and justify going into that country, invading that country, occupying that country, and taking control of the resources. So what did Saddam have to do with? Oh, he had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. But the lie has to be told so the people can look and go, the people who are already in their emotions, because they're showing they're showing the death toll, they're showing all the rubble and all the destruction that took place. Now the people are emotional. It's America, we got to get them. And now they're not gonna resist anything anymore, but people started to wake up. But that was an agenda. That was an example of an agenda. I won't go so long on the next example, but I got to lay out examples to make you understand that it's not beyond the realm of possibility for this country that we live in to carry out these types of things. We'll bring it more up into the recent times. We'll talk about y'all's favorite billionaire, Bill Gates. Everybody has seen the Innovating to Zero video where he speaks about the world's population closing in on 7 billion, and it's over 7 billion now. At the time he did that, he said 6.8. So he was speaking about cutting that number down. He was speaking about depopulation of the planet and scaling back the amount of people that existed on the planet, because the projection that he mentioned said that by a certain time it would be up to 9 billion people on the planet, right? So in this video, he said, well, with new vaccines, we should be able to cut that number down 10 to 15%. What? Did he actually say that? Yeah, he actually said it. This is an agenda. When I won't say when you, I won't say when me, when they identify something that they perceive to be a problem, right? They identify something that they perceive to be a problem. In this particular instance, the thing that they perceived to be a problem was an explosion of the world's population. 9 billion people is too many in their mind, right? But it's not necessarily about the 9 billion people. It's about who those 9 billion people will consist of. That's the issue. At the rate that black people and brown people are reproducing at a high rate, and at the rate that Caucasian people, at the low rate that Caucasian people are reproducing, it is projected that at some point, Caucasian people will be actually reproduced out of existence just through natural reproduction, natural childbirth. They will be reproduced right out of existence. Now, these elitists, they know this, they understand this. So to protect the perpetuation of their race, they start to implement these different scientific methods, these different medical methods to decrease the population, but to decrease the population in the darker people of the planet, because their numbers are down. Their numbers are down, but the darker people's numbers are up. That's an agenda, and it's factual. This ain't nothing I'm making up. Go look it up for yourself. There was another lady. Her name is Margaret Sanger, Sanger. Margaret Sanger. If you don't know who she is, go do your research. She is the creator of what we know today as Planned Parenthood. So you ride through the black neighborhoods, you ride through the hoods, you see Planned Parenthood clinics all throughout the black neighborhoods where black women can go in and get your quick abortion. You can get you some birth control. You can do all of these things that will prevent you from bringing in new life to the world, but it's disguised under the notion of, well, if you get in a situation that you didn't expect, or this is an aid to you, this is an assistance to you. So we have Planned Parenthood clinics all throughout the nation, all throughout the hood, and these Planned Parenthood clinics are set up to decrease the population of darker people. Her name is Margaret Sanger. She was a flaming racist. She has countless open quotes, because you got to understand the time that she lived in. She was born in the late 1870s. She died in 1966. So her whole life was spent. She never saw a time where black people had any civil rights. She died during the time where the civil rights movement was just starting to really percolate. I see you, Mirror Mirror. Appreciate the love, Mirror Mirror. Appreciate the support. Margaret Sanger died at a time where the black power movement and the civil rights movement were just starting to take shape. So she never experienced black people in a free society, in an equal society. Not that the society is equal now, but it's a little better than it was for our great grandmothers and grandfathers that came up through slavery, through Jim Crow in those times. So one of her most famous quotes, she has many quotes, but one of her most famous quotes as the creator of Planned Parenthood, she said, you read it, make sure I'm saying it right. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. she's basically saying that, look, this is what we're doing, but we don't want the word to get out. We don't want everybody to know that this is what we're doing. That was and is an agenda. See? Same thing. It's an agenda. So when people say, oh, it's just conspiracy theory, no, these are facts. I read a quote that came directly from this lady's mouth. She was a supporter of racists and Nazis, and this is who she was. She did not like black people. And she knew through this institution that she set up, this would be a means to cut down the population of black people. This is a fact. This was an agenda. Margaret Sanger, go look up. I spoke about it in a song I did years ago. I called her Margaret Sanger, the human clothes hanger. Then you have crack cocaine. Crack cocaine hit the hood, hit the black neighborhoods hard in the early to mid 80s. I'm old enough to remember when crack first hit the scene. It was like, crack? What's crack? Crack? What is that? Then all of a sudden you started to see people that you grew up with. You started to see people that you knew looking a little different, acting a little different, and going out of their way to acquire this drug, this new drug that hit the streets. You started to see women be willing to do anything, sell their body, willing to do anything to get their hands on this little piece of drugs. You started to see dudes stealing, robbing, killing, doing whatever they felt they needed to do to get their hands on this little rock that gave them a high that nobody had ever seen before. And then you started to ask the question, well, where did this come from? How was this produced? How was it produced? Then you started to see people in the hood selling it. Then, if you was really in certain situations, you knew people who were selling it, or you may have sold it yourself, but you knew people who sold it. And then you saw that they had learned how to actually concoct it. And you put it together through a method of chemistry. You got baking soda, you got cocaine, you got this is a chemical creation, a scientific creation. How did they learn how to do it? See, somehow the knowledge of how to create, how to put crack together in that form, somehow that knowledge trickled down to the hood, but it started in a different place, started in a higher place. See? I see you, Brother Chris. Good looking out. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, understanding the assault on the black man, black manhood, and black masculinity. Go get it. One of Brother Wesley's many great books. One of his many great books. I learned a lot from that brother. But the creation of crack cocaine started somewhere at the top for a purpose. It was an agenda to watch us as black people destroy ourselves through this drug, through this chemical. And those who did not actually consume it as being hooked on it, they sold it and they received massive amounts of prison time when they were arrested for selling crack cocaine. You would get 20 years if you got caught with a couple of rocks of crack cocaine. But if a white man is caught with way more powder, If he goes to prison at all, he's going to get some minimal time, or he may get rehab. He has a problem. See? So this again points to an agenda, because a part of that agenda also is the prison industrial complex. It's tied in together with the implementation of crack cocaine into the hood, because when you smoke it, you kill yourself. When you sell it, you put yourself in a position to go to prison, and you killing yourself in a different kind of way, because you're giving away years of your life to this system. And that very system was created to put you in that cycle in the first place. So the prison industrial system is part of the agenda as well. So if you look at 13% of the population in America being black people, yet 50% of the prison population being black, that don't add up. It's called disproportionate. How can a people who make up a small number of a population in a particular landmass, how can they make up such an extreme number of incarcerated individuals? Are black people just that bad? Are we just that criminal? Nah. It's set up that way. Oh man, it ain't set up that way, man. See, man, that's what see, people gotta take responsibility, man. I grew up in the hood. I didn't do that. Congratulations. You right. You didn't do it. You avoided it. You chose not to do it. You were stronger. You may have been in a better situation at home. You may have felt like that was not something that you had to do because you was good. But there are others who, in a mode of survival, say, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And they are responsible. We're not letting nobody off the hook, you know, who distributed or sold that poison, you know, to our own people. We're not giving them a pass. But you have to always look at the root of the problem. There would be no situation like that for them to put themselves and others in a situation if a higher power hadn't created a situation in the first place. So what is the agenda as it relates to the drugs and the prison industrial complex? The agenda is the prison industrial complex. It is a money machine. The money machine is fueled by people being incarcerated. We got to fill these prisons up. We got to fill these prisons up. There was a CIA agent who came out and he blew the whistle on the CIA when he exposed how part of their agenda was to inundate the black neighborhoods with crack cocaine. He told on them. Guns in the neighborhood. Now you're seeing in this day and age, now you're seeing the opioid explosion. You're seeing all these different things coming. It comes in so many different forms. It's an agenda. It's a depopulation agenda to make us destroy each other and, in essence, decrease our numbers to give them, in their mind, a fighting chance of surviving and being around on the planet years down the line. They no longer have it in their mind that they want to manipulate you, your thoughts, right? There's a man named Zabignu. That's his real first name. His name is Zabignu. Zbignew, I think. Zabignew Brzezinski. This guy worked for President Jimmy Carter. Some of y'all might not be old enough to remember when Jimmy Carter was the president. They used to call him the Peanut Man. He was from Georgia. He's still alive. Jimmy Carter almost 100. But Jimmy Carter was the president back when I was a little boy, back like in the late 70s. And Zbigniew Brzezinski was the national advisor, the national security advisor to Jimmy Carter. He made a statement, and I'm paraphrasing his statement. He said in the past, it was easier to control 1 million people. Now today, it's infinitely easier to just kill them, to kill 1 million people. Why go through the trouble of trying to control them and pushing all these buttons? And they're like, we ain't doing that no more. Let's just go about our way and create circumstances and create these different things and just wipe them out. Wipe them out through what means? We're going to wipe them out through drugs. We're going to wipe them out through genetically modified food. We're going to wipe them out through alcohol and cigarettes, all of the different things that will go into your body. And these toxic things will go into your body and cause you to get cancer, cause you to get diabetes, cause you to go crazy. All of these different things, obesity, heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, stress, dying of drug addiction itself. It's just easy to kill you off now. They like forget all that other stuff, even though they still do the other stuff. Hold on, let me see. I missed a couple of. What's up, Chase? I appreciate the love. Said the man who exposed CIA crack links was murdered. That's usually the MO. That's why Edward Snowden was like, I gotta go. Edward Snowden got the hell out of America because he knew with the information that he was revealing, he was like, Shh. He knew they was gonna kill him. Serving David, I appreciate the donation, brother. Appreciate the love. Catherine Lowry says the fentanyl turning people crazy more than ever. That's another drug that is starting to trickle down to the everyday man or woman you see now. See, some of these drugs were just drugs that were off in the distance. You heard about fentanyl off in the distance. Now you're looking up and man, somebody you knew that overdosed on fentanyl. These drugs, they're all part of this agenda. Zbigniew Brzezinski. This was in the 70s when he worked for Jimmy Carter. There was another man, I mentioned this man's name before, but I got to keep on planting this in y'all heads so y'all would know that when people try to say, when you talk about these things going on in the society and people try to say you are a nut or you're a conspiracy theorist, you got to just be able to back this stuff up with actual proof and evidence that these people actually existed and said and did the things that they did and said. It's a man named John Ehrlichman. John Ehrlichman. He worked for President Nixon. President Nixon was in the White House before Carter was in the White House. He talked about the war on drugs. Everybody credits Ronald Reagan with the whole war on drugs and the just say no. We'll get to Reagan in a minute. But Nixon was the first one to start talking about the war on drugs. But the war on drugs was a front term really for the war on black people. These were the two targets at that time. He said black people and hippies. It was never about a war on drugs. It was about getting rid of black folks and apparently hippies. Apparently they didn't like hippies either. Death and incarceration. Death and incarceration. So you lose your physical life or you lose your physical freedom, which is a form of losing your life, because when you are not free, when you're not able to move when you want to move, when you're not able to explore the world and eat what you want to eat, you're not living. You're not living. When you have somebody else telling you as a grown man or as a grown woman when to go to sleep, when you can go get something to eat, and what they feed you is nothing that you would ever feed yourself if you was in the free world. Aaron said 13th Amendment. When you talk about the disproportionate rate that black people are incarcerated, it links back to the 13th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America, where it was said in the 13th Amendment that slavery was abolished except in the case that you've committed a crime. So now incarceration is legalized slavery. But who is being subjected to the most harsh exposure to that point in the Constitution? See, y'all hit the like button for your big brother, man. They trying to cut these numbers down, man. Let's go back a little further than that. We don't believe that agendas exist, man. Oh, man, if you just live your life, oh, man, you good. These people ain't worried about you. These people is not worried about you. That's what we say. Rello, did you hear the theme song we did for our social media platform on your beat? It's on my page. It's on this channel. Let's go back. Let's take it into the scriptures, because I've been talking about general stuff that government instituted agendas, right? But many of us are spiritual people. Many of us have a system of belief that we subscribe to in terms of a higher power, God, whether it's a religion that we practice or believe in. Many of us have that. So let's take it to the scriptures for those of us who want to see, well, how does God tie into this? Go back to the time of King Herod. Go back to the time of King Herod in the Bible. I see you, Hector. I appreciate the love, Hector. Thank you, man. Go back to the days of King Herod in the Bible. King Herod understood prophecy. And by him understanding prophecy and by him being a wicked king, he understood that a child was going to be born into the world that would overthrow his reign, that would remove him from his seat, that would would institute a new government of righteousness by God's hand, right? So by him, now think about the mindset that he had to have. by him knowing the scripture, right? He knew the scripture. It's different if he say, well, man, I don't believe in that. I'm going to keep doing what I was doing. He knew the scripture and he believed in the scripture, right? So how you know he believed in the scripture? I'm going to tell you how I know he believed in the scripture. He believed in the scripture because after the word came out that Jesus was to be born, guess what he did? He issued out a decree to all those who followed his rules to kill all boy babies 2 years and under. If you don't believe in that prophecy, you're not going to waste your time sending out a decree to kill all boy babies. But if you believe in the prophecy, you're going to say, whoa, somebody's getting ready to be born that's going to overthrow my reign. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen by making sure that no male child comes to birth. Think about that mindset. You believe in it. You know it's true. You know it's from God, and you still try to go to war against it. The point I'm making, though, stay on subject, is that King Herod was carrying out an elitist agenda because he sat in the seat of power. He was carrying out an agenda way back then, 2,000 years ago, right? So it's not a new thing. I mentioned Bill Gates. I mentioned 9/11. I mentioned Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger. Now you got the FBI, right? So the FBI during the height of the Black Power movement at a time, see, we live in a different time now. We live in a time now where they have a few Black organizations out, but most of the Black organizations are so watered down and so controlled by Jewish powers and government entities that they're not really Black organizations. They're not Black organizations. Ain't but one true Black organization left, and that's the Nation of Islam. Y'all could take it or leave it. That's it. Let me shout out to a few more, though. I'm sorry. New Black Panther Party. Respect, absolutely. National Black United Front. Absolutely. There are a few others I'm forgetting. So I won't say that the only one is the Nation of Islam, but let's be real, the most powerful one is the Nation of Islam. This is not a biased statement to be disrespectful to any other Black organizations. It's just the truth. But that's not what I'm talking about. The point that I'm making is that this is in the modern day where we're living in today. Back in the 60s, there were many, many strong Black organizations. The Black Panthers was popping. The Nation of Islam was popping. There were others coming up. Even the civil rights movement, even Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement, that they were popping. They were viewed as a threatening force to the government because the government they feared what they called Negro unity. This is in the FBI's documents. And they said that they wanted to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah. That's an agenda. They're looking through, they're weaving through the system. Okay, who is this? Okay, you got Elijah Muhammad. You got Stokely Carmichael. They mentioning all of the prominent Black leaders of the day, and they're trying to pinpoint who could be that next Black Messiah that would rise up and rally the people and unify against them. See, that's an agenda. So when you hear the words, what are the two? What is the term we hear so much? Divide and conquer, right? You hear divide and conquer all the time. Divide. The term divide and conquer is an agenda. That term itself. We're gonna divide them through different means. We're going to disunify them. That's what the division is. We're going to disunify them. We're going to turn them against each other. We're going to Willie Lynch the hell out of them. We're going to turn them against each other. We're going to plant agents within their organizations to destroy them from the inside out. We're going to divide them. And once we divide them, once we split them, make them distrust each other, make them look at each other a different way, make them hate each other, now we can slide in and conquer them. That's an agenda. So nobody can tell me, I see you, KO, shout out to Fred Hampton. Nobody can tell me that agendas are crazy theories, weird, nutso theories that somebody made up that all, oh man, y'all making this stuff up, man. Y'all just paranoid. And just factual information, researchable, documented information. I didn't make this up. Agendas. Let's see what y'all talking about, man. See what y'all talking about. MLK was murdered because he could have beaten Reagan in the 1976 presidential election. You getting a little far ahead though, bro. Martin Luther King was murdered in 1968, and I don't ever recall any writings or any quotes from him where he expressed any aspirations to be the president of the United States. So to say something in 1976, and Reagan wasn't even the president in 1976. I don't know if he ran. Reagan didn't become the president until 1980. So I don't know what the tie-in with that is. Bud Light says, you wrote Grand Deception and you asking this question? You ain't been listening, Bud. This question is rhetorical. Of course I know. I'm tossing the alley-oop to you. I'm posing the question and laying out all the information that I'm laying out right now for people who may feel that there is no global agenda, that is all BS. Come on, man. You been listening? Have you been listening this whole time? See? God, Tutankhamun says, how is the NOI the real deal? They killed Malcolm. But you put a question mark on there. I'm glad you put a question mark on there. I'm glad you didn't just put that as a period. But I guess that's part of your question. How is it? Because you put two question marks like it's two separate. If you still believe in 2021 that the Nation of Islam was responsible for killing Malcolm X, brother, then I don't know what to say to you at this point. Do your research. I just spoke about divide and conquer. That would be a whole other topic if I get into that. But the Nation of Islam did not murder Malcolm X. The alphabets that I mentioned are responsible for that. CIA, FBI, NYPD. Period. You can't fling statements like that out there, man, and then run. You can't throw that rock and then. And I would advise you to go get a book by a brother in the Nation of Islam. And I know what you're thinking. Oh man, if y'all wrote the book, then of course it's gonna lean toward. Nah, that ain't how the nation operate. The nation will put out a book to defend their points and their beliefs, and it will be filled with evidence and documentation from the opposition. So go get a book by a brother in the nation named Demetric Muhammad. His book sounds just like the question you just asked. The title of his book is But Didn't Y'all Kill Malcolm? That's the name of the book. So he'll answer all your questions if you want to get the book. But just like I say to everybody, because every 2 or 3 lives, Brother Chris, every 2 or 3 lives that I do, somebody comes on here and says, but the nation killed Malcolm. I'm gonna see that every 2 or 3 lives that I drop. And that's all they got. The nation killed Malcolm. Prove it. Prove it. And the deeper you go into trying to prove it, you will disprove it. But I ain't gonna get on that. That's not what we talking about. Y'all hit the like button for your big brother, man. Make them likes catch up with the amount of y'all that's in here, man. Catherine Lowry said they did the same thing to Prophet Moses. I was thinking about Moses when I was talking about Jesus. I was thinking about, because the same thing was issued out in the time of Moses to kill the male child. You're absolutely right. Chris Clevercraft says, poor K. I don't know what that means, but what's up, Shani Beam? Oh, you say talking points. Oh, man. For you to even use the term talking points lets me know that that's a talking point. Where'd you learn that term from? Watching the news? Watching Fox? Nah. Not talking points, Chris. Talking facts. See, you can call something a talking point, but all you want. But if it's researchable and found to be factual, then what is it then? It's a talking fact. So you can try to play that little, these are talk. That's the TV. That's the TV. For you to even say talking points, where'd you learn that term from? So tell me I'm telling a lie. Or better yet, prove that I'm telling a lie. On anything I said on this post, find a lie. You find a lie, and I'll shut up. But you're not gonna find a lie. So that doesn't really, that makes no sense, bro. We gotta be more thorough than that. Even in our disagreements with each other, which we are allowed to do. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. But you gotta be thorough, man. You can't just say, oh man, that ain't it. No, you gotta prove what you say. You gotta prove yourself to me, baby. I saw a guy perform a song one time back in the days at the Howard Clark, and the hook said, you got to prove yourself to me, baby. And I never forgot that hook. You can't just say something. Roy Leon, I appreciate the love, man. Roy Leon says, all we do is sing songs. We done suffered too long. Yeah. Oh, those are my words. I'm sorry. Look at the world. And look at their world and look at yours. And tell me something ain't wrong. Yeah. I'll be forgetting my own lyrics sometimes, man. But absolutely. Brother Chris says, Brother Ben X and Malcolm Flex and many more ministers in the Nation of Islam has covered it. Yeah, I mean, bro, I'm not going to even fool with it, Brother Chris. Because again, that's why I said what I said at the beginning. If there's anybody who in 2021 is still flinging out this regurgitated, parroted narrative. The Nation of Islam killed Mal. If you are a grown man or woman in 2021 and you have not done your due diligence yet to where you still saying that, and with all of the wealth of information that exists, factual information to 100% denounce that, then I can't give them too much conversation, bro. But you're right. Brother Ben X, Brother Malcolm Flex, Brother Demetric, Brother Nuri Muhammad, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. It's too much information out there that will prove that that's a lie for me to even entertain it any further. Plain and simple. All right, y'all, but that was my thing to talk about these agendas. I will give y'all a few minutes to open the floor for some open topic stuff, for some questions. If I think of anything else that I might have missed, I'll go into it. The last thing I'll say before I open it up as part of the agenda, because we've been talking about this punch in the arm. We've been talking about this for a minute now. It's an agenda. Plain and simple. We go into the music industry. The content of the music in rap, particularly in rap, the content and the concepts that are pushed in order to degenerate us in our thinking and our actions. This is the stuff you constantly hear on the radio, TV, radio, TV, videos, award shows, all of this just savagery that you see. It's no mistake. It's an agenda that this kind of music is pushed to the forefront. It's not a mistake. It's to bring our vibrations down to the base level, and then we will act on the very things that are being said in that song. Percocet, popping pills, snorting lines, shooting and killing, stripping, selling dope, worshiping jewelry and expensive clothes and cars. 10 million views for that. 100 million views for that. Let's come together, y'all. Let's come together. Let's unify. Ain't no views for that. Ain't no views for that. The minds have been turned, man. Y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see how they have strategically turned our minds. You don't see it because of song jamming. You don't see it, man. Look at what's happening with Dave Chappelle right now. How they are coming out attacking him because the LGBTQ community wants no criticism. Don't say nothing about us. Even if we wrong, don't say nothing about us. It's an agenda. Everybody mad because they got a bisexual, a gay Superman now. Is it Superman or was it his son? I saw one part where they said it was Superman. I saw another thing that say it's Superman's son. But here's the thing. It ain't no such thing as Superman. Superman is just like Santa Claus. He's just like the Easter Bunny. He's just like the Tooth Fairy. He doesn't exist. It's a character. It's a created character. Now, the created character has been deeply embedded into pop culture for decades. So everybody is familiar with Superman. He's been characterized in comic books, TV shows, movies, video games, you name it. Superman is a iconic character, but he's an imaginary character. So people are in their feelings because they made a gay Superman. But even though Superman is an imaginary character that don't exist, this looks like a job for Superman. No, it don't. Ain't no job for Superman because it ain't no Superman. But we can't ignore why they did that. Agenda. We want to give everybody, even Superman, hey, look, all y'all gonna get some of this. Y'all gonna all get some of this. So now it appeases members of that community to say, wait, look, we have us a version of Superman. We got us a version of Superman now. We have a version of Superman now that we can identify with. We're going to applaud DC Comics. That's them. That ain't me saying that. I'll let you know, Mirror, Mirror. I'll let you know the answer to your question about the food and stuff. What's up, Abby? Apocalypse says Batman keeps robbing around for reasons. See, the rainbow community and the Kipper folks can't be criticized because everyone will think you're attacking them, so the public throws labels. See, but that's, you absolutely right, Tiny. But that's the trick. That's the trick. When you create an environment, you create an atmosphere that dictates to people that any disagreement or any criticism of this group automatically labels you as hating that group. Spoke on that earlier. Then anybody who has a position that they value, job, record deal, football, basketball contract, regular job, anybody that has a position that they value now becomes hush mouth, even when their intentions were not malicious intentions. It's like I just spoke my piece on that subject from a point of me disagreeing with that lifestyle, and now I've been threatened to be shut down because, again, you don't have to be no big time actor, no rich famous athlete to get shut down. Everybody on here got a social media platform that they operate on, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case might be. If you say the wrong thing, if you say something crazy, you know what's going to happen. But even if you just speak your mind on the subject in a respectful manner, but in a manner of disagreement, if that gets to your job and somebody makes an uproar about it, you can lose your job. So this is a tactic that's used to put a muzzle on your mouth. See? It's a tactic that's used to make you shut up. So now they become insulated in this protective bubble where no contrasting view can be hurled at them. That ain't right. That ain't right. Nobody should have the right to be disrespectful and hateful towards a group of people. Nobody should have that right. Nobody should be able to just go in and talk crazy about gay people and whatever the case may be, people who are mentally challenged. No, nobody should have that right. That's disrespectful. That's evil. But everybody should have the right, if asked the question, everybody should have the right to say, well, nah, man, I don't rock with that. Well, why not? Well, because I'm a Christian. And here it says in the Bible that man should not lay down with man. Woman should not lay down with. If I subscribe to oh my gosh. So now you got groups like that. They condemning the scriptures. See, that's the power that they've generated. Now they're like, look, well, you know what? We'll cancel God. Boy, you a boy, you cold, boy. Man, they'll cancel God these days. You look up online, hey man, hey, we canceling God, bro. I read some stuff in the Quran. I read some stuff in the Bible. Now God gotta go. We're asking everybody. We're asking everybody to boycott God. That's how stupid these people are. If you're gonna stand on something, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're gonna stand on whatever you're gonna stand on, you better be ready to take the credit. That's like me coming on this live right now. Every time I come on this live, you got a handful of people on here that's disagreeing with me, with what I say and what I believe and with what my ideologies are, my philosophies on life. It's always somebody who disagrees with me. When have y'all ever seen me just cussing somebody out and flipping out and just going crazy because somebody disagreed with me? If I see it and I feel like it's something that's worth me commenting on, just like the brother who was talking about the Nation of Islam, we touch on it, we say what we say, and then we move on. It's never an emotional response, because if I come on this platform and speak the stuff I speak, then I understand that people in this box right here, they got the right to express how they feel too. If that's the case, I should just eliminate the chat box. If I just want to speak my views unchallenged, I should just eliminate the chat box and just talk. And y'all somewhere at home watching me talk and can't respond to it. Nah, if you step on the platform, you have to be ready for people to oppose whatever it is that you say. And if you're not able to retaliate verbally or defend whatever it is you speaking on, then that's your problem. That would be on me. But I'm not going to insulate myself to protect myself just so I'll be able to just speak uninterrupted and unchallenged. That's weak to me. So any group that does that, that's weak to me. Because if you're so potent on what you stand on, then you should be ready, able to defend it, not from an emotional point of view, though. You know, see, getting mad and getting in your feelings, and that's not defending. That's being defensive. Defending is, okay, you said this, okay, well, hold on. Well, according to this, and I read this, blah, 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 blah. You go through your due diligence and shut them down with facts. See? Mac L. Bay, by that logic, everyone should have duct tape over their mouth then. Yeah, we can't say nothing. See? So don't get caught up in the situation of thinking that we're just living in this world and things are just happening just by some chance. Things are just happening. Let me know where y'all located at, man. Drop y'all locations. I want to know where everybody is. We got a few people in here tonight. By my standards. By my standards, we got a lot of people in here tonight. By my norm. Dollar Bill sent me a track so hard tonight, man. I almost I almost slammed my computer on the ground for no reason. I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, I misinterpreted your quote, bro. I apologize. You was on my side. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I apologize to you for misinterpreting your quote. I just saw poor K, but you had my back all this time, bro. Next time I see you, if I ever meet you, man, I'm gonna buy you a snow cone. Appreciate the love, Chris. Yeah, y'all drop y'all locations, man. North side of the building, G County, Texas, the building. Look, man. Let me see. Oh yeah, California, Orange County, Kokomo, Indiana. Kokomo, Indiana. Never heard of that. Man. Frederick, Maryland, Sacramento, Austin, Texas, Cali, ODI. So I'm never afraid to disagree or agree with another when talking and being able to transverse different opinions. We can. Yeah, man. When people get in their feelings when somebody disagree with them, they're not strong in their foundation or whatever it is that they claiming to believe in. Why would you get all up in arms because see, no. Relax. They can disagree with you, but if you got your stuff together, you can prove your point in a calm and respectful manner, and you can move on. Then they'll start going. What is Aotearoa? I don't know what that is. Baton Rouge in the building, Colorado, North Carolina, Denver, London, England, Canberra, Australia, man, Finland, Tampa, Austin, Texas. Man, we all up in here. We everywhere. Dallas, Northern Wisconsin. Miss Lady Sample been showing up. E2 Clutch in Dallas, 7 Note official. End days around the corner. The king shall return soon. Can't argue with that. Grand Junction, Colorado. Colorado be repping so hard, man. Have you ever tried explaining Plato's The Cave? No, not familiar with that. Opelousas in the building. Appreciate you, Young Shine. Catherine dropping some knowledge. Colorado, Oklahoma City. Brother Chris X. Chris X is like my brother Christopher X. He's like my when I do these lives. What's the proper term I can use to describe brother Chris? He's like my, I want to say my wingman. He like my hitter, like my shooter. Cause I'll touch on something, but he'll come through and back me up and hit it in the way I didn't hit it. And I'm like, oh, he got my back. Georgia, Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada in the building. Serving David, appreciate the love again, man. Thank you, man. Senegal, we all over the place tonight, man. We talking about agendas. And people, I made a song called Hidden Agenda, but this is what we got to understand. The agendas, some of the agendas are hidden, but some of them are right in our face, in plain sight. But we are so distracted by other aspects of the agenda. Like I said, the music, all of the TV shows. And so one agenda, think about this. A blatant, obvious agenda is placed in front of us visibly to take our attention off of a covert agenda that's taking place somewhere else that will manifest itself later on while we're over here looking at this. So it's agendas within the agenda, all at the same time, woven in together, all at the same time. We don't understand how deep this thing runs. Twitchy Clock, Anthony Pruitt, Tiny Taco, So Show, Jordan Clapson, Chris Clevercraft, Jenna in Finland, 5K, Lorenzo, Odiazo, Magic Weedapus. Shot a few of y'all out, man. What do you think is the next part of the plan once the depopulation agenda comes full circle? Well, here's the thing, Roy. They're not going to be able to carry it out. See, it's a scripture in the Holy Quran that says they planned and then Allah planned. Allah is God. Don't mix it up. Don't get crazy. It says they planned and Allah planned, and Allah is the best of planners, meaning that these forces, these elitists, these powers, so-called powers, they made their plans. They set out to do what they wanted to do. But God made plans too. But God is the best of planners. Nobody can outplan him. So they're going to try to do all this that they're doing. They're going to attempt it because they know that their time is short. Their time is really up and they're living on borrowed time. So they're going to try to do and continue to do whatever it is that they're doing, but it's not going to be successful. It's not going to work. So the war is already taking place, but the war is taking place up here. So they'll try, but you cannot depopulate the original people on the planet. You can't do it. We come from a time before there ever was a time. Our history, our existence is so old that time can't record it. You can't eliminate that which is derived directly from the Creator. We ain't going nowhere. Not gonna happen. We reproduce by accident. Squishmallow, what's up, Sammy? Yes, sir. I will see you tomorrow, bro. We will be in the lab. Got a dope song, and we talking about a lot of this stuff on a song I just did with my homie Squishmallow Times, aka Sammy. See? So they can make all of these plans, all of these things that they plan on doing. Like I spoke about Bill Gates. I spoke about the innovate. Go watch the Innovating to Zero video on YouTube with Bill Gates. Agenda 201, all that type of stuff. And you will see, recapping, Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. Think of all of the different institutions that have been created to destroy us, and our numbers are still potent. There's no shortage of Black and Mexican people. It's no shortage. We everywhere. They can't get rid of us. It's impossible. It's impossible. Our very genetics are impossible. It's impossible to destroy that. Washington in the building. Salt Lake City. You have to be willing to take drastic steps in silence also. Grand Junction. And you're right, Anthony, depopulation has begun, but it will not reach completion. It won't ever reach completion. You can't destroy the original man. You can't do it. No matter how hard you try, they can't do it. They've been trying for centuries. Think about it. Again, Planned Parenthood, slavery itself, drugs, alcohol, music, Hollywood, falsely educating uh, through religion, lying on the reality of God, stripping us of our whole identity of who we are and who we were. There are multiple tactics that have been used to depopulate us. And see, the depopulation process, we always view it as being a physical process. We're going to punch you in your arm and kill you like that. We're going to give you these drugs and kill you like that. We're going to feed you this food, this poison food, and kill you like that. But we never consider that depopulation is also a mental process as well that they use. They use mental means, psychological means to kill you, to kill your spirit, to kill your motivation as a person, to destroy the inner dominance that you have as a black man. That's the mental aspect of it. Spiritually assassinating you. So you walking around still in a breathing, existing physical form, but you dying or you dead up here because of things that have been instituted on your mind. That's depopulation too, because everything starts in the mind in the first place. So if I destroy the thought, if I destroy the mind, if I destroy the will, the body gonna follow. Come on, man. Bill Clinton is here in ICU in Orange, Texas. Serving David, thank you again. Thank you again, my brother. Serving David, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm trying to be a servant too, man. Promise I am. It's not just physical, y'all. It's not just physical. I'm gonna get out y'all way, man. One love. Peace.